transplant. So quit now. And never feel sorry for yourself. I don't. I only feel sorry for that 37-year-old man.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit line. 1-800-QUIT-NOW. 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Happy 80-degree day. It's
so nice outside.
I don't know the specific temperature, but it's probably a good thing that I haven't been sitting outside. It's 79 degrees according to the Weather Channel. I always wonder.
I'll pick up the kids and go to the park.
I don't know how accurate Weather Channel is. I know there's a lot of weather apps out there.
Mine says it's 52 and sunny. I feel like it's wrong.
72. Mine says 79.
No, mine says 52.
That is very much wrong. But there is an air quality alert, so stay tuned.
Shout out to Kansas for burning stuff.
They're doing that again?
They do it every year. It's a yearly thing. I don't know why people are so surprised. Like every year it happens. Everybody just goes, why is this happening? It's every year. Kansas burns stuff every year.
Does Nebraska burn stuff?
No.
Nebraska does not burn stuff. We are anti-burning.
I mean,
correct.
I wouldn't say anti, but yeah. I like burning stuff.
What does Nebraska burn?
Well, I don't know about. You said we, all right? I'm not anti-burning, but you know.
so Rico is hoping that Nebraska starts burning. Burning what? We don't know.
Look, I'm just saying, if you need some stuff on fire. I might want to help you out a little bit.
I don't know if there's anything more freeing or more powerful
than lighting something on fire.
But more importantly, more specifically, I should say, going and being like after dinner, just throw the paper plates in the burn barrel or burn pit, whatever. And we'll just set it on fire later.
Just get rid of it all.
Let's get rid of it.
Yeah. There's nothing more satisfying than throwing something into a fire and just watching it burn.
Wait. Bipolar says Pioneers Golf Course literally has a bunch of its rough burned off right now.
Whoa. Like,
is that true?
Like good?
Like good burn? Or
did they do that on purpose?
Did they burn it on purpose to grow fresh grass?
And Waterboy? I mean.
Anyway, so Disc Golf Jake says, fun fact, all the trees in Nebraska lean to the south because Kansas... because of Kansas, because of burned stuff and smoke. Let's see. Burnt Cheese says, plenty of controlled burns in Nebraska. Okay, well then we apologize. We need to stay in tune, Rico.
We really do. Bill and Bennett says Rico may be a bit of a pyro. I mean, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah,
I like things on fire.
Cubsker, who is currently
like safely,
controlled. We like controlled burns.
Yeah.
Okay, Bipolar says the Pioneers golf course looked pretty controlled.
Okay.
Looked pretty controlled. So unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed control burn.
Yeah. So we'll send out a tweet or something. We'll figure out if it was controlled or not. If not, if it wasn't controlled, I thought we would be hearing about it.
We definitely would have. It was definitely controlled.
Like Pioneers golf course set on fire. Yeah. So they need to do that, honestly, with a lot of golf courses probably around here because they're not in the best shape. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those open for you guys the entire show today. Waterboy chimes in, says Jeff Sims is going to be quarterback number 1, isn't he? We'll get to that here in a moment.
Talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, we will. Where was it? Was it Thomas in Lincoln, I believe, said the main host, Rico, with his co-host, Nick, the Ditcher.
I never said that.
Lions don't get more than 6 wins. You better
Wow.
be careful what you say, Thomas, because we like to hold people accountable
We
here
do.
on the happy hour.
We might write it on the board.
I wrote it on the board that the Lions would win the NFC North today as well.
If anybody has any hot takes for this upcoming Husker football season or NFL season, or just any hot sports takes that they think should go on the board, send them in. 402-464-5685.
Now, as I was writing,
I might save them in my notes app.
as I was writing on the board, I thought to myself, oh boy, we're going to have to transport the board to the new station at some point before the season begins and ends.
Oh no.
So
I'm gonna have to. We got to talk with the Pearsons
How
about
do
leaving
we-
a spot open for the bet board.
that's there. That's already there. It's a staple.
Well, I don't know if it is.
We've already talked to them about it. I'm pretty sure.
We haven't.
Oh no.
We've talked about the
We've-
bet board, but we
we've
never
talked about
talked
it.
about it being in the new place.
If there'd be the new place. We've talked about a lot regarding the new place. Some things like a slushy machine, TVs,
chair lockers.
You want chair lockers? Which it shocked me. Slushy machine was a yes from DP, but chair lockers were a no.
The chair lockers were thought about by Becky and DP.
Ooh,
but I don't know.
Mark says bet board visible to the public. I'm okay with that. We're all about accountability.
Behind a pane of glass, break in case of emergency.
Somebody stole our bet board. We just get a text from an unnamed texter
I have your
3
bet
months
board.
later, just of the board. Oh no.
I have your bet board.
Hey Nick, remember when you said Lions would win the NFC North?
$300, and I will return it safely.
That's right. Big Slim with a prediction. The Tampa Bay Rays will flirt with 120 wins this season. I don't know if you know this.
Okay, hold
the
on.
Rays are undefeated.
They are.
They
Okay.
won a game last night 1-0.
So the thing is, with these takes that you guys are throwing in there, you are going to be held accountable, and there will be repercussions.
There will be.
I do not know what said repercussions will be, but there will be repercussions. We might let the text line come up with it if they actually have good repercussions.
I'm not sure.
Because before, whenever we would ask the text line, we're like, hey, what should this person do if they're wrong? And the first text would just be like, kill them. And we're just like, that's not going to happen.
Chop off their pinkies.
Like, that's not going to happen. So,
You could
actually good ones. Like, there was one time, I think it was Snow, had to eat like a cat food sandwich.
I would never.
Well, that's not that bad.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's going to taste terrible, but it's not going to kill you.
I think something.
And it's not going to like scar you for life.
See, nowadays with social media being so accessible, it needs to be something that can go out into the universe and never be erased from the face of the earth.
Yeah, like you eating a cat food sandwich.
But with that, it also needs to benefit the ticket. Rico.
Like you eating a cat food sandwich.
Unfortunately, I don't think I get nothing out of somebody eating a cat food sandwich.
People would be like, "Oh, this is so great!" It could be like a thing for the ticket. Like they do crazy bets.
Well, I mean, like DP had the one chip challenge.
Yeah,
but those one chips are a little. Those little chips are a little pricey.
I would rather eat a cat food sandwich
than eat the one chip.
Yes. Have you eaten the one chip,
Rico?
You haven't. You haven't
bad.
eaten the one chip, have you? You have no idea.
I've had a nibble of the one chip.
You have. I ate the whole thing.
I made it. Hey, I'm standing strong by this. I have made it through the hot wings, the hot ones challenge twice.
So have I.
I know.
I would do that easily 2 more times than eat that one chip.
Tiny Pig wants to know on the text line, can I change my handle to Cubby Bear? You sure can, Tiny Pig.
But Tiny Pig is a great name.
Tiny Pig is dead, and Cubby Bear is alive.
Fine.
So
Are you going to do it, or am I
I
going to do it? You
right
got it?
now.
All right.
Should I just leave it Tiny Bear?
Ooh.
Can we, Tiny Pig, can we leave it to Tiny
Bear or Cubby Pig?
Or Cubby Pig. Okay, I gotta.
Well, you have to choose one of those.
No.
Tiny Bear or Cubby Pig. Do a shoey, says Bipolar. You ever done a shoey?
No.
Neither have I. It'd be
Don't
gross.
want to.
Well, that's better than eating a cat food sandwich, right?
It would be bad.
But not your own shoe.
Shoe of our choice.
Shoe of the winner's choice.
Disc Golf Jake in all caps says Tiny Man Bear Pig.
50% bear, 50% bear, 50% pig. It's a man,
but
bear,
all
pig.
tiny. So small. Anyway,
I'm super cereal, guys.
let's go with Cubby Pig. Okay, so Cubby Pig.
I told you.
I
knew that was a good one.
They must just wanted to get rid of the tiny part.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Cubsker did do the one chip successfully. I don't know how you did it.
Yeah.
I was mentally and physically done.
Yeah. So, Matt says Speedo at 48-0 with the 93.7 the ticket sign.
Burnt Cheese says dress them up in a ridiculous costume and make them twirl a 93.7 the ticket sign outside the news station for a full segment.
I would be okay with that.
The Speedo or the ridiculous costume?
The ridiculous costume, because I don't want to see anybody in a Speedo.
A Speedo
Plus,
is a ridiculous
winter
costume.
is a thing.
Well, that's the thing. That's
Winter
the
is
point.
a thing. Now,
10 minutes outside the Speedo.
That's tough.
That's a pretty good one.
That is a good one. That's a heavy repercussion.
That is. That's got to be for something big.
There's got to be waivers signed.
You don't need a waiver for that. As long as it's not -20, you're fine.
I don't know, man.
If it's windy,
I feel like people can sue people for anything nowadays.
Nah, if it's what, 15 degrees and you're outside in a Speedo, you can be outside for 10 minutes. You'll be good, I think. How long do you have to be outside in 15 degrees before frostbite sets in? I think you'll be fine.
Okay. So we doing that. Twirling a ridiculous sign down at 11th and 0.
Yeah.
Where our new studio would be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Cubby Pig says I needed something Cubs related. Maybe Tiny Cub is better.
Nope, too late. Cubby Pig is what it is.
Cubby Pig is tough to say.
Cubby Pig.
Tiny Cub is not.
Cubby Pig.
While we're at it, before we have to go to break, I didn't want to do this. While we're at it, I'll just get the Nick Traffic segment out of the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
It annoyed me this morning driving to the stadium, and the very kind construction workers were out, out at Salt Creek and Antelope Valley Parkway, that intersection. So I'm driving north. It would be on Antelope Valley, I believe, is the one, and getting ready to turn left. Well, the folks will know they just put a second turn lane to turn left there.
Yeah.
But for the last 3 weeks, you haven't been able to use the second turn lane that they just put in because of construction. And so I'm sitting here going, why are we putting a second turn lane? Here we go. This is awesome. Eric says, that's my project, Nick. Here we go, Eric. Well, I'm going to mean it anyways.
Oh, Eric.
Here's the deal. And this is nothing against the construction workers. This is not a construction worker. They're just doing what they're told to work on, right? I don't know.
Drives a white Ford.
Come on, man. You just outed me like this. His license plate number is. No, here's the deal, Eric. There's a lot of white Fords that drive up and down that road, I'm sure.
Oh, I could finish
So anyway, they teased us. The city of Lincoln teased us for about 2 weeks to where we can turn left in those 2 lanes. And I was like, man, this is great. This is what they needed for such a long time. They needed to have 2 turn lanes here. It really helps the flow. The green arrow turning left on that stoplight doesn't stay green for very long. This is what you needed. I'm driving down to go to practice one day a couple weeks ago, and construction in the second lane. So I'm like, okay, let's hope they kept the time for the green arrow a little bit longer.
Yeah. Nope.
No. We allowed 3. There was 3 cars at a time that were allowed through that green arrow.
Well, not if you're brave.
I'm not going through a red light.
You can get a fourth car through. You can get a fourth car through.
Speaking of, that also bothers me when the okay, I guess we'll dive deeper into this conversation then. Turn lanes, when people don't creep out into the intersection so that you can get a second car past the crosswalk, because that crosswalk is like this barrier line.
Yes, it is.
Where it's like, hey, if you cross the crosswalk,
you got to go.
You can go through a left yellow arrow.
You got to go.
You can go. You're good. But if you don't cross that crosswalk, you're not able to go.
I despise people who not only don't creep forward, but when it turns yellow and the other cars are stopping, don't move. They're just like nope, it's yellow. I'm done.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
get out of the way. the ones, maybe people are mad about this. But Mr. Unlimited says, do you want the bridge on the ground, or do you want to deal with a little construction and plan some extra time?
Put the bridge on the ground.
Speaking of bridges, I'm
kidding. I don't want the bridge to collapse.
No, I really wanted. They're not even working on the lane though. That's the thing, is they're working on something on the other side of the road. I don't even know what they're working on. Or maybe Eric can tell us.
Eric says plan accordingly, take a different route.
Well, finish it faster, Eric.
Ooh.
Pew pew pew. I know there are bonuses involved if the construction company goes ahead of schedule.
Are there?
Yes, there are.
Oh, well, I want them to be safe and make it correctly. Take your time,
I suppose so.
Take your time.
That's what I mean. They finished the South Beltway in like super fast time. Have you ever driven over by the South Beltway?
I don't go a lot of places.
Yeah, you need to get out more, Rico. Mr. Unlimited, in response to your bridge comment, I would love. I wanted them to really do that elevated bridge plan on 14th and Old Cheney.
Oh, the elevated roundabout?
The elevated roundabout.
That sounds
roundabout.
Awesome and terrifying.
I really wanted them to do it.
Because somebody would just not pay attention.
Yeah.
And just zoom.
I would. Well, not that part, but
that'd be a problem.
The elevated roundabout idea would be cool before they put the axe on it. Chase B asks, hey, Mr. Unlimited, isn't a bridge on the ground just a road?
Text fight.
What is it? We had the
caller
combat.
We need to make a text fight one.
All right. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get to break. When we come back, we'll finally dive into the scholarship discussion coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday. I am back. You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC Snoop Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off. All new light-duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
A warm, breezy day on the way here for our Tuesday. Highs this afternoon around 85. South winds could gust to around 25. Heading into tonight, mainly clear with a low of 57. Tomorrow, even warmer and even windier. A high of 88. South winds gusting 35 to around 40. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright. 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscaping or trees to be planted a safe distance from electrical lines and equipment to give crews safe access. Visit les.com/trees to learn more.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
I'm Brian. At 58, doctors told me I had the heart of a 37-year-old man. They told me that after my heart transplant surgery. If you're a smoker, here are some tips in case that happens to you. First, you have to quit smoking before you can get on a list for a transplant. So quit now. And never feel sorry for yourself. I don't. I only feel sorry for that 37-year-old man.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I don't believe you people.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Before we get into Husker football, I just want to shout out and acknowledge all of my St. Louis Cardinals fans out there. I hope here 10 games into the season, you guys are enjoying being 3-7 and having the worst record in the National League. Commence the text. Go ahead and do it because the Cubs are 5-4 and they're above 500. Once again, the St. Louis Cardinals 3-7 this year. But oh well. Okay.
The Yankees are 6-4.
The Yankees are 6-4.
They can't win more than 2 games in a row.
That's okay. It's okay.
Disappointing.
The Cubs just have to eclipse 80 wins.
What a revolting season.
The Cubs just have to eclipse 80 wins, and so far they're 5 games into that.
The American League East is the best division in baseball.
Don't have a team under 500.
Nope. The Red Sox and the Orioles are 5-5. The Yankees and the Blue Jays are 6-4. And the Tampa Bay Rays of all teams are 10-0.
Yeah. So Cubsker says, yeah, Nick, tell them Cards fans off. That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Because at the end of the season, it won't be that case. It won't be that case where they have the worst record in the National League. But right now, here they are. The Cardinals have the worst record in the National League.
Even worse than the Phillies?
At 3-7. Yes. So the Phillies, so here's where they're at. They hold it all by themselves at 3-7 because the Washington Nationals, which I remind you, their over-under on wins at the beginning of the season was 59.5. 59 out of 182 games. Washington is 4-7. Miami is 4-7. San Francisco and Philly are 4-6, while St. Louis is 3-7.
Garbaggio.
So, anyway, Tyler says the Chicago Cubs where 500 ball is okay.
I
guess so. I suppose so. Anyway, Disc Golf Jake, the Cubs are 5-4, yet still mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. We all know how this goes. They'll have a wild card spot. Cody Bellinger has been able to hit a couple home runs. Nico Horner's good. Dansby Swanson's hitting above 330. Look at that. Cubs are just fine. Let's talk Husker football here. 402-464-5685. We'll say a lot of engagement on the text line so far. It's been a really good day so far.
Before we get into Husker football, let me shout out the volleyball team real fast.
Let's just put it on the back burner. You guys are going to have to get to football in the last section.
Yeah, it's fine. Football is fine. Football is all the time. Let me shout out volleyball real quick. So Nebraska volleyball is going to play their spring match in Central City.
Yes, they
at
are.
the Bison Dome, the Bison Center. I don't remember exactly
Bison
what it's called. The week after Nebraska football spring game. It was April 28th, I believe. 29th. I know what I'm talking about.
7 days after the 22nd will be the 29th.
I know what I'm talking about. It's fine. In a 2,000, a little bit over seat dome out in Central City. tickets sold out in like 38 minutes. People were camped out since 4 a.m. Tickets went on sale at 8 a.m. I would be surprised. Well, actually, I wouldn't, because I'm sure they had their own tickets, but I doubt there were any Wichita State fans in line at 4 a.m. out in Central City, Nebraska, waiting for tickets. But shout out to Nebraska Volleyball for doing that. They're getting a ton of questions from people not even related to the Nebraska program about the outdoor match that's going to take place next month, which Becca Alec, who spoke with the media the other day, said that one of her friends, who I don't think she goes to Nebraska, was wearing a Nebraska shirt and was, as she plays soccer somewhere else, was asked about the outdoor match that Nebraska is going to have at Memorial Stadium. But yesterday we spoke with John Cook, one of the newcomers, Merritt Beeson, the transfer from Florida, and Becca Alec, one of the returners, the sophomore middle blocker from Waverly. And John Cook was raving about how close this team is and how the freshmen aren't acting like freshmen. They've kind of engaged themselves with the rest of the team extremely quickly. They have 6 newcomers on this team and no seniors. I don't believe he said that he doesn't believe that anybody on the team is 21 yet.
Wow.
And Maggie Mendelson is still the youngest on the team, and she's been here a year. She was supposed to be in this class with these other 4 freshmen.
That's right.
But she graduated a year early, joined the team, did volleyball, basketball. She only took a week off after basketball season ended, and then joined the volleyball team. They've been getting their practices in. He mentioned that Kennedy Orr, so she didn't take part in beach volleyball season, right? Okay. She was just working on her indoor setting for this entire time off. She went to Hawaii with the team, but practiced with John Cook in an indoor facility, and she's gotten this entire time just working on her setting. And he said that she's taken massive steps forward, which is going to be very important because they got the number 1 setter in this last year's class in Bergen Riley, who at 17 years old, I believe she's 18 now, but at 17 years old was playing with the world senior volleyball team for Team USA. I think it was down in Brazil or somewhere in South America when they were playing down there. She got a couple starts against some of the senior teams from around the world and held her own. Nothing but glowing praise from her high school coaches, from the world coaches, and from John Cook. So Kennedy Orr getting all of that time away from beach and just working on her setting is very important for her. But I was speaking with some of the other media members, and if you're watching the volleyball team this year, when you're watching the volleyball team this year, don't be surprised if you see at least 3 freshmen, maybe 2 freshmen starting for some of these games. I know early in the season they're playing a couple of teams that maybe they can switch up their lineups a little bit and have some more freshmen playing and getting some time. But don't be surprised if you see at least 2 freshmen starting as the season goes on, because this team, these freshmen, these newcomers are extremely talented and a very loud group. They like to yell. They're very competitive, as John Cook said. So this volleyball team is going to be it's going to be a really fun season and really interesting to see what they do going forward, because again, no seniors. Yeah, no seniors on this team. Nobody over 21.
So as Rico alluded to, in 18 days on April 29th, Nebraska will play Wichita State at the Bison Dome in Central City, Nebraska. And then what's really interesting, I'm waiting still to hear what concert is at Memorial Stadium in August. August 30th is the day of the match against Omaha, but also they have that the match earlier in the day at 4:30. I want to say between
Wayne and UNK.
Between Wayne and UNK,
it's an exhibition, but
yeah, the exhibition matches. So that'll be interesting to see kind of where or who gets announced there. But as Rico said, yeah, the Wichita State match against the Shockers on April 29th at the Bison Dome. Let's go ahead. And we got to get to break, unfortunately. When we come back, Austin and Strick will join Rico. Tomorrow, we'll dive deep in. I promise.
Maybe.
We'll dive deep into the scholarship discussion, as well as a couple texts that we got, that I want to think about. Ryan Mackey first said about how we're feeling about Nebraska being on the verge of missing the top 4 recruits in the state. And then there was another one that was talking about Jeff Sims as quarterback 1. Waterboy asked that one earlier in the show. Then he said, wait a second, don't talk yet, running into Casey's. and then we never got to it. So
you're welcome.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow, especially Waterboy as well. And those 4 recruits that I suppose Ryan is alluding to would be Carter Nelson, who is the number 1 recruit in the state of Nebraska, Davon Hall, Isaiah McMorris, and Danny Kalin. Obviously, Kalin already committed to Missouri to play quarterback, right, from Bellevue West. McMorris decides not to visit Nebraska on the junior day, goes to a 7-on-7 camp, and visits USC last weekend. And then we end up with who am I missing here?
Davon Hall.
Davon Hall.
Also went to
there's
7-on-7
there's
camp.
interest with Penn State there with Davon Hall, and then Carter Nelson is visiting literally everywhere. So
he posted like 2 pictures. Yesterday he posted his visit to Auburn and his visit to Georgia, I believe, but he posted them the same day, and I was like, did he go to both schools? It's just the pictures when he got them back.
Yeah. So Cubby Pig says, leave it off with a go Cubs go for all the Cards fans. Cubby in a heart, and it was so easy to do that.
I can really just
go Cubs go, baby. Go Cubs go. Cardinals fans, you guys are 3-7, worst record in the National League. Hope you lose again tonight to the Rockies. Hope Wilson Contreras strikes out some more. Even though I love Wilson. I love Wilson so much. I miss him.
I know you do.
I miss him. Okay, let's go ahead and get to break. Austin and Strick join Rico coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
For great views, go to Kansas. For unforgettable views of action-packed racing, go to Kansas Speedway. With a premier facility that gives fans what they want, how they want to see it. And with a Saturday doubleheader, a Sunday Cup Series race, and great deals on kids' tickets, the views will get better all weekend long. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 6th and 7th. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-2273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I love my ring. Compliments time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism. Are you storm damage causing issues with your basement? At Fountain Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl space, blowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. At Foundation Repair, we fix basements.
It's April, and that means the school year's almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
There was a kid, and he dealt me this. He was mean. He said some things to me that he shouldn't have said to me. We had scored a touchdown, and you know, when you score a touchdown, extra point, and he was all in my face, talking crazy. Yeah, you keep sending the other dudes over here. You this, you that. Bleep, bleep, bleep. After that field goal, he's in my face like this close. So you know what I did? I spit it. Oh, no. You broke the golden rule.
I hit him on
You
a low
broke the golden rule.
It wasn't right.
I lost all respect. For you.
Why? It was
I don't really
against
want to be on
Baylor.
your show no more. I'm done.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're going to have to give us like 12 seconds while I go over Strick's mic. So I'm going to ask Austin to kind of stall.
Yes. This is Happy Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. We don't usually break stuff like we are. Oh, Stricky's figuring it out. No,
he
just
didn't.
kidding.
You're not going to figure it out.
Oh, that's why we have our assistant program director, Rico Alvarez Clary, on the job. That's right. Rico got a promotion. We're all very happy for Rico. Very appreciative of all the work he does. Obviously, on air, running the board and being a host, but Rico does a lot to make the station go and putting the logs together. Huge props to Rico as well on the music front, as you've heard Jay and Kenny mention that on Old School. Very appreciative of Rico and everything that he's been doing there. So again, Rico, congratulations on the promotion. Third in command here at 93.7 The Ticket. Kind of tired of Nick having to go to class. I'm not going to lie. Now that I work with him every day, but he's got to be. Why can't you just skip class one day, right? I mean, isn't a radio show more important?
I mean, that's what I've told him multiple times. I tell him just hurry up and graduate. All right, it's not that hard. Figure it out, dude.
Yeah,
just speed time up.
Like you'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right. Nobody needs you in that class. You don't need that class. I told him you don't even have to graduate. You're already working. You're already doing what you're going to class, what you're going to school to do. Why are you trying to graduate? You don't need you need a piece of paper to tell you that you can do this job. Nah, you've been doing the job. You're fine.
Plain and simple.
But actually,
like
kids, go to school. Get your degrees.
It's like that.
It'll be all right.
What's going on? Hey man, listen.
What?
Your boy is enjoying this absolute wonderful weather that I've been trying to avoid and get away from and get on boats.
You've been trying to go everywhere else, and now it's finally
We're
here.
back, baby. We're back.
So now you're going to stay, right? You're not going to go anywhere else?
Yeah.
So we'll see you in studio all week, and we'll see you in studio all
Except for Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Oh, come on! Oh, I just had to get you to say it.
I knew you. I knew you were suckering me into that. You're roping me in like a fish on a hook.
Yeah, I got him. I got him. So Nebraska had practice today. Matt Rule spoke with the media after practice, and so did Garrett McGuire and Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. One thing that people have kind of zoned in on was something that Isaiah said when he was asked questions. They asked him about leaving the team last year, and he said that he didn't really want to leave the team last year.
Interesting.
They asked him to kind of go into detail on that, and he's like, I don't really like talking about last year, where I'm just moving on to this next year. But I really need to know what he means by he didn't want to leave the team last year. Does that mean that he was kind of
Forced
walked
out?
to the door, forced out? Did some things happen where he had to leave the team? Like, what does he mean by that?
I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Because he really got off to a pretty good start. When you just look at some of the work that he did in the Northwestern game, and you can tell that there was something there, right? And then when we needed a good second, we were hoping Omar Manning or somebody would step in. Obviously we were hoping for Betts or something. Just we were looking for a really good. Washington ended up being that guy, and I thought he could have been a really good addition. And then all of a sudden he just kind of disappeared off the scene. I don't know if he wasn't getting enough targets, or he just wasn't feeling good, or he wasn't flowing with the coaching staff. I don't know, but it's interesting kind of how it all flowed at the end of the season.
And remember, his dad was on Twitter talking about how everything went down. So that's another element I'd like
Was
to
his
know.
dad right?
I don't know. And that's one of those things that I'm afraid we'll never know, which is always unfortunate.
It's always unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
What happened to having flies on the wall and CIA
I think Rule's
tapping the phones?
I think Rule's done a
Man,
pretty good job.
What's going on, man? We need to get back to that.
I think Rule's done a pretty good
More
job of getting
Watergate.
people out.
Tape
Oh, you want more of that?
Tape more doors open.
More sneaking into Rule's office and just leaving stuff.
We need
under
spies.
it. We need spies.
Somebody take Rule some flowers and put a mic in there.
No, what you do is the Ocean's 11 style, where you have the guy in the cart.
Yes.
It's like the room service cart.
Oh, yeah.
Fold him up. Listen.
Do we know
Bring him out
anybody
later.
that can do that?
Oh.
I can't. And I'm not that
Well,
small.
we
Not
know
anymore.
you can.
Not anymore. I don't do that. I don't
we
do that.
can't tell the secrets though. We got to make sure we keep that undercover.
You
under
think they
wraps.
ain't listening? Or are they?
Are they?
Good question.
So, Strick, this is a question for you as a former Nebraska athlete. I'm not going to ask you to spill state secrets,
Oh.
but
definitely do.
Well, obviously, feel free to. As someone who has, ties to a program, is there stuff, that you like to say that, by being in the program, you're like, yeah, probably better not, or is it pretty on the up and up?
There are some things that I can say that in past I've been disappointed about. That being in the position that I am, I'm okay with voicing sometimes my opinion, but I'm tactful as to how I do so. Because listen, I bleed red to the end. I am a Husker. I grew up here. I went to Bellevue West. I want success for the university. Been disappointed in a lot of ways and some things that I've seen, and wanted to be a part of it. I even to the point. Let me just address this. Like, I think some people have a misconception about maybe us as professional athletes. Maybe they don't think we may work as hard. Maybe they don't think we'll settle for a menial position. Maybe they don't, maybe they don't think we'll humble ourselves. Maybe they think we just expect or have an expectation of this, hierarchy of being at the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily the case. I literally, and I can say this, I spoke to Tim Miles at one point. I literally told him, this is when I was still coaching. I was coaching at this time. And I told him, I said, listen, for what you're paying these guys that you're bringing in here, I'll do it for half of what you're paying them.
Mm-hmm.
Half. And still didn't. And listen, and had 3 players. Like there's players right now that I could bring that I'm sometimes that I've been so frustrated that, I won't do it. Like, I had 3 Creighton players that killed us for years.
Mm-hmm.
that I was close with their families, their mothers, their brothers, their cousins, that I had relationships with them, and they would tell me, if you're down there, Eric, I'll send my son to you, or I'll send him to you. And no one budged.
Nothing.
Crickets.
So it just comes to a point of frustration at some point, and I'm just, I love what I'm doing. I love talking about it, but I want to see success for the University of Nebraska athletic program, and of course, you'd like to be on the inside, helping out, being a helping hand. I don't need to be in the forefront. If I was ever in the Nebraska program, I don't have to be in the forefront or out front. I don't mind, being in the background and pushing you out there and being of support and so forth and so on. Guys that we had on our team when they came, Teron Lou, they sent them to me. Mikey Moore, they sent them to me. All the biggest recruits that we had coming in here, they sent them to me.
That was you.
So, yeah.
Oh, well.
To include one, what is it? What was our guy from New Zealand?
Ty Webster.
Ty Webster.
Ty Webster.
Yeah.
Happened to just be sitting next to him. This was no setup. This was no setup. It wasn't like, the university had, made this happen.
Yeah.
I happened to be sitting next to him and his dad. His dad knew me from the league. We having a conversation. He asked me a question. He's like, I don't think I'm going to send him here, Eric. And I happened to just have a deeper conversation as to why I thought it would be the best fit for his son.
Strict sending people left and right.
Did he come?
I do remember him.
Well, hey. So I'm just, I get frustrated sometimes.
Hey, it happens. We're all allowed to get frustrated.
Yeah.
But speaking of Nebraska basketball, something did happen today. Nobody committed or anything, but a top 3 was released. Latrell Wrightsell Jr., the transfer out of Cal State Fullerton via Omaha Central, released his top 3 schools. Minnesota, weird. What was it? Alabama, not so weird. Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Nebraska makes the top 3 for Latrell Wrightsell, who averaged somewhere around 17 points a game last year. Would be a massive get for the Huskers. If they can land him, we'll see what happens.
I've got a great relationship with. Me and Senior are very close.
Look, that's a guy that I need to see in a Husker jersey next year. But that's going to do it for the happy hour. I'll let Strick and Austin handle their business on the other side of this break. Happy hour done with. On the block, getting ready to start. Adios.
Chances are you've